And we are live now for game 1 of Brody and Gungay against Gwolf and Fishy. Now, Brody and Gungay on the defense here have a natural advantage, going for tanks with extreme gun depression, decent DPM, but mostly the gun depression and turret armor is what they're planning on relying on in the steps game. And on the attack, the double 50B is very aggressive from Fish and Gwolf, especially on a map like steps, which is generally governed by long angles. This means that it's almost certainly going to be a 9-0 play or a 1-2 push from the 250Bs, and it's up to the defenders here to try and work around and play safely, sort of bleed out the 50Bs before they make their connection. Now Gwolf here and Fishy, they have a bit of a reputation in the clan as aggressive players to say the least. They care a lot about their mobility, and it's only fitting that they're both in 50Bs here. Now Brody and Gungay here scouting the south of the map, which is normally a very risky play against 250Bs, but in this case it'll actually work out because it'll tell them with almost absolute certainty where the other opposing 50Bs are. Because there's only one other area they can push from unspotted. Now the Kronwagen here is going to have a bit of an overview on Cap 1. Cap 2 remains sort of undefended here. It could swing either way if Brody isn't careful with how he resets Cap 2, but it is looking like they're going to go for a peek here. It might even catch Brody out here if he's on the wrong side of the rock. Is he? Oh no, he's not. He just barely sneaks back into cover. But they see him! They could get connections here. Oh, but they're just outside of view range. They don't actually spot it. They haven't actually spotted him just yet. But will they get spotted going over this hill? Now the spots come out on Brody as he gets shot, but neither of the shots connect. And Brody's shots don't connect either, but now the first penetration has been made, and the second connection made promptly after by Brody onto Fishy here. As the 50Bs are now on reload, and Gungay, I don't know what's with the positioning here, but he is on the complete wrong side of the map. If the 250Bs just rushed Brody Jonesy right there, they might have just taken him out of the game and won the game. But the game's going to continue, and as Brody regroups with Gungay in the STB1, it's going to be interesting because eventually the cap's going to come down and they're going to have to find a way to approach this without getting picked off by a 50B, which from their positions actually isn't as easy as it seems because they've given up all of the close hold downs in the cap. They aren't contesting them at all. Now, as we can see, Fishy and Gwolf now moving for the cap, not quite in sync, but they're still starting to place pressure on the cap. Brody and Gungay obviously now going to know exactly where they are. And the game continues. Now Gwolf actually being quite careful here. He's going to go forward and see if he can pick them off as they drive towards the hold down to reset the cap, but they're being very careful to go the long way around here to reset cap number 2. Gungay is definitely going to go the wide way in the STB. I'm not sure if he's running a turbocharger because he has hardening, but depending on how that goes, whether or not Gungay makes it in time, he almost certainly will. Now Gwolf coming back, he realizes no one's coming to the hold down on the right, so he realizes that the resets are going to be coming from their defensive spawn. As you can see, the minimap up there a little bit messed up. Brody here taking a cool, calm, calculated approach to the situation. They've seen the side that they're capping on, they know which side the 50Bs are on, and now they're just slowly coming around to the safe side to reset. As Brody trying to find any angle he can, he gets spotted! He could get caught out and take a lot of damage for this. He gets tracked! That is very unfortunate. That might have just lost them the game here. Now the 50Bs, I would be inclined to go onto the aggressive here with the 50Bs. Even though they have the cap points, I think it's actually more risky for them to stay in position and get caught out by this STB1 here, which Gwolf isn't going to be able to one-clip here. This could be a very big problem. They might have just thrown every single lead they had here by being in front of this STB1. Gwolf is going to go for the ram and clip, and now Fishy's realized the urgency of the situation, and he's now also driven off the cap and is going to come in and intervene with this fight. Gwolf, he might be realizing the monumental fumble he has just made, as he's not going to be able to clip out this STB1, and now this STB1 is going to be coming for, and Brody finding the long angle onto Fish here. This is a huge punishment coming through. And now, the 250Bs with every advantage under their name, almost 2k HP advantage, have thrown it all away by the looks of things. Fishy now trying to chase down Gungay desperately. He's looking for any angle to finish off that little STB1. He's been sneaking around all game. Brody on reload. Fishy goes for the ram though and dies from it. That's very tragic. And now Gwolf alone on a one-shot. It doesn't stand much of a chance here. Such a clear-cut win for the attackers, but they made a critical error and threw it all away. They're very risky of Gungay to go so far from the base at the start and give the 50Bs that position, but game's a game, and that concludes the first game of this best of 3 series.